So, do you have a fear of buying your own property? Do you have a fear of getting a mortgage? Today, I'm going to be talking about the top fears that either I've felt myself or other people have felt and how I've overcome it. So, the first thing is buying a property. It is the biggest expense you're ever going to have. And I understand the whole thing is extremely overwhelming. Not from, well, firstly, from just the concept of it, actually going out and buying a property. And if you don't have anybody who has already bought a property, who you're close to, or anyone who, like some people out there, their parents haven't bought properties, so they would be the first one of their family to buy a property, or they'd be the first one of their friends to buy a property. So they've got no one to talk to or bounce things off. So I understand that can be really overwhelming. That's why I created a community, the Get Mortgage Ready community, which people can go in there and they can talk about their fears and their feelings on it. The second thing I wanted to talk about is it's just the idea of it, actually buying a property, what's involved. It can be like a black hole of information. What do you need to do first? They talk about credit score, they talk about deposit, they talk about the buying process. There's so much information there. Now, there are a lot of resources out there that you can, again, use. And what I say is when something is really overwhelming, and for me, like the buying process was really overwhelming, what I used to do is I would just take bite-sized steps. At the end of the day, as long as you're moving forward, you're getting it done. And everybody has their own time scale. So just work on taking the next step and moving forward on the next step. Now, when it comes to actually understanding the whole process, again, there are loads of resources, and again, my membership would also help. Now, the next thing is what I find, and this works for me, everybody's different, but I find is there's a lot of people out there asking you, where are you with this? Where are you with that? The best thing is, as my mum always says, less is more. So I find by not telling people what I'm doing. I know a lot of people out there say, tell everybody, make yourself accountable. The thing is, once you decide you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I'm one of these people. It's all very well people keeping me accountable and asking me about it, but I need to make that decision for myself. I'm definitely going to do it. And then if I don't tell people about it, then no one every 5 minutes is saying, so have you got there yet? How's it going? I kind of feel that as added pressure. I don't know. Everybody's different. You might find the accountability of and there's two levels of accountability. Let me clarify. So I do have accountability partners for people that are also doing the same thing as me. And that accountability I think is great because you've got a bit of competition there. They've achieved this, you want to achieve that. And there's that level of, but the other thing is, if they've achieved something that you haven't, you can ask them about it and they can say, yeah, this actually works by X, Y, and Z, and it's actually achievable. Otherwise, if you tell sort of family and friends, certain unsupportive family and friends, it's like they use it against you. What, you haven't done that yet? So there are different types of accountability partners. I think having an accountability partner with the same mindset as you is great. Having just telling everybody, you're going to get so many people asking you questions about it, where you are with it. And I don't think they want you to fail. I think they're just trying to protect you. So that's the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, the whole fear, the whole survival instinct. So everybody says, the reason why we feel fear and we don't take steps and we don't go out of our comfort zone, and buying your first property is going out of your comfort zone, is because we want to protect ourselves. Now, I always think about from the perspective of what happens if I do it and it doesn't work out, and what happens if I never even try. Now, with buying your first property, as long as you do the research and you understand what needs to be done and you take your time with it and do it at your own pace, then the likelihood is you're going to be fine, But if you go on the premise of, if it doesn't work out, like if it doesn't work out with your very first property that you go for, then It could go work out with a second or third, as long as you keep on going. Yeah. And if you do fail, if it doesn't work out, then think of failure as just a stepping stone on the journey to teach you a lesson, as opposed to, a dead end road. A lot of people, the reason why people fail and don't achieve anything is because they stop. So there's that element of it. I always take that advice of, if something doesn't work out, I don't see it as a failure. I analyze it and I think, okay, how could I improve that? Or maybe I could get someone who's done something similar and I can ask them questions on it. If things aren't working out as quickly as I'd want them to, or I've been told this from one person and said this is definitely the way to go and it will definitely work, and it doesn't work for you, then at the end of the day, just ask somebody else and keep on asking people till you find someone who's similar to you with a similar mindset and actually understands how things work. That's the next thing I'd say on it. But at the end of the day, buying a property, it is a big thing. I'm not saying it's not, but there are tips and tools and a lot of ways to actually get there. And then there's the whole self-confidence thing. I've heard people say, my clients say, that they don't feel, and this is why my slogan is, everybody has a right to own their own home. A lot of people think, oh, well, buying property isn't for me, it's for a certain type of person. I know, as a mortgage advisor, I have met people from all walks of life who own property. It isn't just for a specific type. It isn't for a specific background. It isn't for a specific, where they're from, what their parents do, what country they're from. Honestly, it's completely unrelated of, where your family came from, or get that out of your head. You are you. And if you make a decision, you can do it. So that's what I'd like to say. Thanks.